Hey everyone! So today I had the pleasure to sit down and speak with someone who began their real estate investing journey as a traveling nurse in the military. And today they are the number one tax deed investor in the world. And it all began after he learned that what most millionaires have in common, it's real estate. So stick around for more because he's gonna spit some game and show us how we can do it too. This guy has found the cheat code to getting into real estate. Hey guys, this is Monopoly Monica. I am here today with Joseph Griffin. He is a tax deed professional and a real estate guru. Please tell us a little bit more about yourself and why you're here today in Vegas.
Well, look, you already told the people pretty much what they need to know. Real estate investor, tax deed wolf, all right, the number one tax deed investor in the US. And actually, the reason I'm here in Vegas is to help spread the word to other professionals in various industries and in the real estate niche on how to invest in tax deeds. I was literally requested to come here so I can spread the word to literally millions of others.
I love that. So tell us how you got into real estate.
So I was a travel nurse at the time, and I was still in the Army National Guard, and I had a little bit of money after travel nursing. I was like starting to save up a little bit of money in my bank account, and I knew I didn't want to work forever. And I looked around and I saw all these other millionaires, and what they had in common was real estate. So I told myself, okay, I need to get into real estate, but I didn't have all the money in the world, and I didn't understand OPM, right? I didn't understand other people's money. So I found about tax deeds, and that's when I like dove in. I bought like two properties my first month, and the first one was 3,000. The second one was only 1,900 bucks, and that's when I knew I was like, okay, this is gonna be my way out. And I dove all in, and the rest was history.
Tell us a little bit about how you found these properties or like how you really got into tax deed in specific.
So specifically, I was actually overseas. I was on deployment. I was in Afghanistan, and my squad leader was like, "Hey, have you heard about tax deeds?" And when he told me it, I was like, "That's a scam. It's got to be a scam. Ain't no way."
That's
But
actually the first thing I thought when I heard about it too.
that's
But
what everybody
it's
thinks.
actually real.
I looked into it and I was like, "What?" So it wasn't until like 2 years later, actually, that I started looking into it. So I deployed in 13, 14, and like maybe 2016 is when I actually dove in. It's so simple, literally, like as far as how to find the properties. Went to my county clerk of court. I saw the list and I saw that we had virtual auctions in Florida. I showed up to my first auction. I didn't win. I was just kind of just like doing the hokey pokey, putting my foot in, putting my foot out. So I just showed up and I saw the auction. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is real. And that's how it started.
That's really cool. Tell us some of the strategies that you have found to find success in real estate.
So number one for sure is tax deeds, right? Now, when I say tax deeds, you have to understand the difference. A lot of people get confused because there's many different types of tax sale. So we have tax sale, and then that breaks down into different categories. We have tax liens, we have tax deeds, we have tax redemption deeds, and so many different other things. There's land banks out there, many different things. So tax deeds is my number one because when you win the property, you pay the county, it's yours immediately, right? So that's number one. Well, tax deeds is only an acquisition strategy. There's many of acquisitions in real estate, but then there's many exits. So when I acquire a tax deed, my favorite exit strategy right now to date is seller finance. I like to become the bank. So we'll go buy tax deeds for like $3,000, empty land parcels, let's just say in Florida. We'll buy a land parcel for $3,000 and then we'll seller finance it out for a down payment, let's say $5,000 to get all of our money back, and then we'll have the buyer pay us monthly. So we literally become the bank, right?
Yeah.
So we're getting our money, non-refundable down payment, right? It's not a security deposit like when you're a landlord.
Mm-hmm.
So non-refundable down payment, and then we'll go ahead and collect the monthly payment for X amount of months or X amount of years. That's my favorite strategy because statistically, only 30% might finish actually making the payment. So what happens when they stop paying me? I go get the property back and then I'm a real estate pimp. Actually, that's what I am. A real estate pimp.
You guys heard it yourself. Well, that's interesting. I mean, that's awesome, though. You really did find the cheat code. That's super cool.
Oh, I love it. It's one of the best strategies that not many people talk about because they don't know. Right? They literally don't know. I have a duplex right now that I got because the homeowner, He was trying to sell a property. The realtor couldn't sell it. So we said, hey, if we sell your property, give us this duplex on seller finance terms. That's in the contract. We sold the property like that, made $40,000 on an assignment fee as wholesalers, and then he gave us the duplex for just 500 a month.
Huh.
Crazy. I still have that duplex today. The duplex brings in $2,200 a month for me, and then of course, I have to pay him 500. I have to pay my property manager. I have my taxes and insurance and everything, but I still net over $1,000
Right.
on that asset.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's really cool. So tell us one of the lessons that you have found to be the most valuable in your career.
Oh man, the most valuable lesson that like for anybody actually is just keep going. Honestly, you have to be consistent. The minute you want to quit, like you really have to tell yourself like no, keep going. A lot of people quit when they're just right there. Like literally you're
Why do
right
you
there.
think that is?
It's just I don't know if it's the brainwashing that was put on us or it's just how people are, but a lot of people just cannot stay consistent for 3 years, let's just say. We can work for somebody else for 40 years, but we can't give our own selves 3
Right,
years
right.
to try to grow a business. And if you can just stay consistent while at the same time continue to grow, we have this thing we call it the 1% rule or the compound effect by Darren Hardy. It's an awesome book. You
Yeah.
just have to keep getting better every day, even if it's like very small. So you surround yourself by the right people, you make sure that you're continuing to grow every day, and you remain consistent, and it's almost impossible to lose. It's almost impossible to lose if you can do that. It's the same as the gym. We want to go to the gym and get results the same day. It doesn't happen
We
that
live
way.
in a world of instant gratification. I think that has slightly something to do with it because there's always like the next thing and that we're always chasing that next thing
Yep.
and it distracts us. Or we're just going to the next video, right?
Yeah.
It's something like that. Speaking of lessons and being consistent, what would you say are some of the habits that help you to focus on the bigger picture?
So first thing is I would say actually mindset, honestly, because if you have no will to actually want to do better, you're going to give up and you have to make the right habits that are going to get you to where you want to be. So one thing that I'll say is let's say your goal is to be a millionaire. What a lot of people tend to do is they say, okay, on New Year's Eve, I'm going to start doing XYZ. Well, millionaires don't do that. They don't say, hey, on New Year's Eve, we're going to do blah, blah, blah. We start today. We start now, right? Now stands for no opportunity wasted. So it's a lot of habits that
I
you have to
haven't
like,
heard that before. I like that.
no opportunity
I like
wasted.
that. That's
So
good.
if I can do it, I'm going to do it now. There's no tomorrow for me. Tomorrow's not even promised, right?
Right.
Yesterday's the past. We can't dwell on it. It's over. We only have right now to do what we need to do. So you have to create habits like that habit. There's so many more habits, but that's just one. You have to work on your mindset and you really need to have and understand your why and just continue to do better like every single day and don't lose that motivation.
Right. I like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with like setting New Year's resolutions, but I think we kind of use that as a crutch to, or as an excuse to just not do things. Right.
Exactly. Like we can have next year resolutions, right? Okay, next year I want to hit 100 million in revenue. But when you have a New Year's resolution and there's still 2 months from New Year's and you don't start today,
Right.
that's the issue.
Right. Right. Right.
That's the issue.
Yeah. No. So what you said, long-term goals.
Hmm.
That's more of a long-term goal, but I agree. If you say you're going to do something, just do it. Just
100%.
do it. So, please tell us some of your own personal and professional goals. You mentioned that having a why is important to just doing things now. So, on that aspect, please tell us some of your own personal and business and professional goals, your long term goals.
Okay, perfect. Personal goal is be a better father, right? Sometimes we can tend to get caught up in work a lot. So I actually want to be with my kids more. Actually, that's a personal goal of mine. But at the same time, I do want to travel more too. So those are some personal goals. But it's
Kids like traveling.
yeah, but they're a pain in the butt to travel with.
When
Not
they're
gonna
little,
lie.
yeah.
Not gonna
Yeah,
lie. So I have a
that's
1 year
true.
old, right? And she's just kicking and screaming the whole plane ride. So it's like okay, but
They're just acting their age.
so that's my personal goal. Hang out with them more. Business goal is we're currently scaling our businesses. So one business we're scaling to 50 million. That's my business goal. We want to scale to 50 million less than 5 years. less than 5 years, we need to be at 50 million. That's a business goal for us, and I know we're gonna do it.
You will,
Oh
definitely.
yeah.
Like with your family and your kids, how do you plan to do that if you are going to be working towards that goal? This is going to be something that every one of us struggle with, especially if we have family, because even my kids know that mommy's always working.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of sad, but at the same time, like you have to sacrifice a little bit in the beginning when you're, trying to push through and build a business. And it's hard to manage those things and to juggle those things. So, how would you, I mean, do you even believe in work life balance?
Oh yeah, 100%. So the answer is discipline, right? So in the beginning, I was working nonstop, and then I had to tell myself, okay, I'm not working past 6 p.m., right? Past 6 p.m., don't call me. It'll get done the next day.
Right.
So it's little things like that. All right, I can't be gone every single weekend of the month, 2 weekends. And it has to be important enough to where I'm going to make at least $3,000 for the weekend or I'm turning it down, right? So it's just discipline, setting your standards, and then making sure that you actually stick to those standards. And like I said, be disciplined enough to follow suit on those rules or guidelines that you set for yourself.
So you set standards, but that's almost even like a boundary. Like, hey, don't call me past 6. I'm having dinner. Don't intervene there because this is me time.
I put the phone down. I
Yeah,
literally will put my phone in another room.
yeah.
Literally.
I think we should all do that every once in
Yeah,
a
it's
while.
good. You don't want to, and then
Yeah.
most people get home and then they're glued to their phone. Their kids are like around them, mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy, and
Hmm.
we're just sitting on our phone, stuck
It's
to it.
it's really
Put the phone
hard.
down.
It
Put the phone down.
I know. I
And
think I think we're all a little bit addicted to our phones, just a little bit, but most of us a lot of bit.
if you're, and the sad thing is some people are addicted and they're not being purposeful about it. I understand being on your phone when you're like making money or doing something, but if you're just scrolling through social media aimlessly, watching stories, you find yourself like, holy crap, I sat here for 30 minutes and I haven't done nothing.
Or longer.
That's a problem.
That is a problem.
That's a problem.
It's a problem because we do it so much and then it becomes a habit, and that habit only gets worse. And then really we just become consumers.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with that. Tell us one thing or a few things that you believe that the general public, that all of us should be doing differently to find success. And these could be life hacks or tips. We want to hear from you.
One thing that the general public can do to find success is going to be get a mentor. That's something that we were never taught. You need to be getting a mentor, right? Somebody who's in an industry or doing exactly what you want to be. When you look on social media and you see these people like, oh man, this person's killing it. I want to be like him or I want to be like her. You need to invest in let's say they have a course or something. Invest in it. That'll change your life forever. My life didn't turn around for me until I actually invested in a mentor to show me how to get from point A to point B. And we look in any other industry and there's mentors. Like when I went to nursing school, I didn't just say, hey, I'm going to be a nurse and today I'm a nurse. Come on, man. I'm going to take care of you, right? I'm going to save your life. No, you'd be dead. You wouldn't be here to interview me right
Yeah,
now.
thank God it's not like that.
I had a mentor that I had to follow. I had to study. I had to continue to get better and better every day.
And check in and all
That's
the
the
things.
number one key to success.
Yeah.
Mentorship.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah,
cheat code.
I have had so many mentors, and I think the one of my greatest takeaway from them is they keep you accountable, because most of us, even going into adulthood, we can't even be accountable for ourselves, and we need a coach. That's why basketball players have coaches, right? And a good coach knows like exactly what you need to do, and they tell you all the steps in order to get there, and they keep you accountable along the way. And I think a lot of us think that we could just jump on YouTube and learn whatever we want, and you absolutely can, but there's so many like little gray areas where you just need like something, and it's a mentor.
You need the experts, and I'm glad you said coach because people have to understand that you need more than one mentor too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you have your coach, but look at like Stephen Curry for example. He has his coach, but he also probably has his shooting coach. He has his conditioning coach. He probably has a mindset coach
He,
and a
how many coaches do
nutrition.
you
Like,
think he has in
oh
total?
come on, you probably can't even count, right?
Right, right,
Probably can't
right.
count.
Yeah, that's a whole staff.
You definitely.
But it
Everyone
it
needs a
takes
staff.
it. No, yeah, honestly, it takes a
It
village.
takes a
It
village.
takes a village for kids and for grown-ups.
Yeah, definitely.
So please tell us one of the most impactful things that you've done that got you here today?
Besides mentorship, I'd have to say make sacrifices. It's something that a lot of people won't do, but I had to sacrifice a lot. Sacrifice partying, sacrifice a lot of bad habits that I had, sacrifice friendships. You know, we have those friends that always want to call us up. Hey, come do this. Hey, this and this. I stopped answering the phone. I actually changed my phone number. That's what I did. I changed my phone number, and if it wasn't about growth, if it wasn't about me bettering my life, you didn't get my number. So sacrificing and the ability to say no is something that a lot of people don't have.
It's
There's
powerful.
powerful. I think I read a book on it or something, but
Right.
you have to learn how to tell people no.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your life, it's my life. If I don't want to go with you, I'm not going. If you are calling me every single weekend, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, can I help you with this? I don't have to, right? And people have to understand that. If you have a friend that always is loading their problems on you, hey, my girlfriend cheated and blah, 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 and just
Like,
calling you,
go get a therapist.
stop answering the phone. The best thing that you can do is start telling people no and just stop replying.
Right.
One of the best things you can do for your career.
That's a great answer. Very good.
Unless it's money, I'm answering the phone.
Right, right. And this is something that I always say. I don't like to spend time with people. I like to invest time with people. Because when you're spending it, like, I think that time is more valuable than money. So if you're spending your time, you're just spending money and you're like throwing it on a credit card with high interest. That's what I look at it as.
Yeah, 100%.
So we talked about mindset, we talked about coaching and mentorship and all of the things about how to work now, how to just do it. So these are some of the things that you incorporate into your coaching, right? I know that you offer this service. Can you tell us why is your coaching program different than all the others that, all the gurus out there, they kind of have a different approach or different focus? What is different about your program?
Oh man, good question. So there's a few things that are different. One is there's a lot of people who are coaching and they're not actually doing this. So I do real estate still every day, right? Another thing is a lot of people are one not doing what they're teaching. So they just start a course or whatever because of something that they heard. The second reason is most people can only teach you one thing, only tax liens or only tax deeds or just the birth strategy or Airbnb. Well, with us, you learn the whole picture. I used to be a nurse, so I can't just give you a medication for your heart, not knowing how it's going to affect your kidneys, your liver, right?
Right.
So we took the holistic approach to real estate. We have to show you from the start credit, business structure, business credit, right? Investing, entries, exits, laws, all types of different things. How to be a landlord, right? You can't just know how to get properties. You have to know how to underwrite properties before you get them. You have to know how to actually manage those properties. So there's so much more to real estate that a lot of people don't talk about. And when you look online, you just think everyone's winning. Trust me, everyone's not winning.
And even the winners are working hard to be winners.
They're working
There is
hard.
just so much more to the big picture that people don't really see because it's just the tip of the iceberg, I
Yeah,
think.
the winners are working hard, and then there's a lot of people who you think are winning, and they're just basically lying. We call it cap, right?
Cap.
They're capping.
Cap.
There's a lot of people who we think are winning, but they're asking me for money.
If someone was watching this today and thought that this is something that interests them, how do you select your perfect mentee? Like, is this something that is global? Is this only in the States? Are you only focusing on Florida? Because I know every state has specific laws and just totally different everything, really.
We're actually worldwide. So the cool thing is a lot of places have virtual auctions, and real estate is something that can be done almost anywhere, right? Pretty much anywhere. So we have people like in Dubai, Canada, the UK. So I literally have students all over the world. What I look for in a mentee is they just have to want more. You just have to want this. Some people have shiny object syndrome and they just hear, "Oh, tax deed for $3,000. I want to get rich quick." You have to understand that this is not a get rich quick, right? This is a grind, learn, and continue to do this and be consistent. If you can't understand that, I'm not taking you as a mentee. If you think you're about to come in here and make money in 20 days, has it happened? Yeah, but if you that's your only hopes, like, no, I want to come with you so I can flip this money real quick, you're not the right
It has to be
mentee.
more than money. Like
Has
the
to be
money
more than
comes
money.
along with it for sure, but it's definitely more than that. I think people miss that.
And it's not quick, right?
No,
It took
right,
me years to get where I am today. And that's what people don't understand. I retired from nursing at 29, but I started investing years before that. You know, it takes time, it takes consistency, it takes a lot of learning, it takes a lot of sacrifice and building of networks, and that stuff just doesn't happen overnight.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So I like reading, and I want to ask you, um, do you have any book recommendations? What has been the most impactful to you? Everyone always says Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Yes, it's good, but there's so many others. I personally love to read, so please tell us some of yours, one or many, whatever
So
you
I won't say Rich Dad Poor Dad then. All
like.
right. There's so many. The most impactful book to date for me though has been Richest Man in Babylon. A lot of people don't know that book,
It's
but
an
that
old
book
book.
really teaches you about like finances and what to do with money. I was in a rough place when I read that book, and it actually got me out of a slump that I was in. You know, I had too much bad debt at the time, and I thought I was drowning, which most Americans are will
Are,
be in there, or they're there right now.
right,
So that book really helped me get out of that and start learning how to say no, who to trust with giving money, because everything sounds so good. Yeah, let me do this, let me do this, let me do this. And so had to learn how to tell people no. What's some other books? How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's a really good one, because communication is everything.
right.
Communication is everything.
I've I believe some people think that that book is all about like being an influencer, but like in the terms of like a social media influencer. But I
Hmm.
think that's what people are getting wrong because I know I've talked about this book with other people and they're like, oh yeah, that's a social media book. I'm like, no, it's not. No,
It's a life book, how to communicate,
how to
basically. That's
communicate.
what it
Yeah,
is, how to
yeah, yeah,
communicate.
exactly.
Yeah. And there's plenty of other books that I've read. Fanatical Prospecting is a really good book. Alex Ramosi has some of my favorite book, $100 Million Offers. Awesome book for any business owner, right? And of course, I'll be here with him tomorrow. But
Yeah.
that, yeah, there's just so many books. So
Wait a
many.
second, you're gonna see Alex Hormozy tomorrow.
Mañana, see.
Mañana. Why?
Tomorrow.
Tell us.
So there's a business owner workshop, right? A business growth workshop, scaling your business, whatever you want to call it. 2 days with Alex and Layla and their team, basically showing you how to scale your business, because it's cool to make a million. It's cool to be at 3 million. But I just told you I want to hit 50 million, right?
Right,
So what better way to hit 50 million than learn from someone who's already done it,
right.
right? I haven't hit 50 million yet. Do I want to just sit and enjoy where I'm at with 3 million in revenue? No, I don't. I mean, it was cute, but now it's time to go play with the big dogs. So
Right.
I have to get in the room with the big dogs, and that's what we're doing.
That's good. I think that's so important. You have to surround yourself with someone who's, yeah, even your own proximity, someone who's just as good as you or better. But when you want to grow, you got to be around the big dogs. You
Gotta get
can't be the
uncomfortable.
smartest in the room. You have to be the total opposite in every room and then keep changing your rooms until that's what it is. That's the only way that you will grow.
And I'm a professional at that. Like if I haven't learned something new in a few months, I gotta go invest in something. I don't care
You'll
if
get
it's
bored, right?
I will get no. Hey, we're static right now. I need to go do something else. So
Right.
always getting better, and that's something the army taught me. We constantly had other courses. Hey, go take this class. Hey, there's this gun that you haven't shot before. Go take this class on this and how to do it. There's this new system. Go take a class. Like we're constantly getting better.
That's really cool that you say that because I feel like a lot of people um, they have this idea of like the military and army. It might be like a bad thing, but it could be a good thing. And I think the good thing out of that is it helps you provide that like level of foundation and like your standards and how to like
Mm-hmm.
manage your life.
Not regret the decision that I made to join the military at all. It's probably the best decision I've made in my life.
Tell me why.
It just taught me how to deal with adversity. That's probably the biggest thing I got from the army, is how to deal with adversity. Every human goes through adversity,
Right.
right? And your character is going to be tested on how you deal with it, right? It's not what happens to you, it's how you react to what happens to you. And so many people are lost and they think they're broken and they're depressed and they have all these excuses on why they can't be great. Well, the military taught me, hey, suck it up. Shit's
Right.
gonna happen.
Right.
What
Right.
are you got? All right, we got to keep moving. You're still alive. Like, what are you gonna do about it? Right?
This is
There's
true.
no time to cry. There's no time to complain. Keep going, and that's what life's about. Just keep going.
Right. So and women get like the same treatment as men in this?
In the military,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
pretty much.
Because I feel like when we think of that, like at least I do. I know I do, and my friends believe it too. When we think of military, and I don't know anything about it, I'm gonna be so honest. But I feel like it's a very masculine approach to like coaching masses, right? Like, get up, you can do it, work hard. Like, that's very masculine. That's why I'm wondering if it's even playing fields for women and men, if their treatment is different at all.
For the most part, it's the same. The only difference really is like there's some physical things that men have the advantage over. So to give you an example, when it comes to doing push-ups, well, we wouldn't put a female on the same standards as a male. For a male to max out on the PT test before was like 77 push-ups, and that varied by age, right? So when I got out, it was like 77 push-ups that I had to do. Not many females can do 77 push-ups, right? So the standards were a little different in certain things, but for the most part, it was the same education, the same, almost the same opportunities women had just as men.
So, this might be a silly question, but I'm just curious and I want to know.
Mhm.
Did they like yell at you? Or what? Is that the Navy, or is that like the military? Is that the Army? Or is it like the police academy? Who is the one who's like yelling in people's
The drill
faces?
sergeant.
But in what area?
That's in basic training. So when you first join the military, depending on which branch you're in, so with the Army, the Marines, we're used to having some sort of drill sergeant. I don't know what they call it in the Marines or anything, but for us, it's drill sergeant. And yes, you got yelled at. But as you rank up and stuff, that
It goes
that
away.
goes away.
So
Yeah.
when how many times do you have to rank up to, not get yelled at anymore?
I would say your first 3 or 4 ranks as a lower enlisted or a not as an officer, right? Being I was an E6 when I got out, so I was a staff sergeant, right? No one was yelling at me as a staff sergeant, really.
So what were some of the things they would say?
In basic training.
Yeah. What would
Oh,
what
do
would
you
they
really
yell
want to
at people?
know?
Yeah, yeah.
Move fucking faster. Why are you told?
What else? What
Why are
else?
you going so slow? Like, you didn't hit that fucking target. That's an easy target. My grandmother could hit that target. It's what I told you about dealing with adversity. Their job was to create the adversity.
Yeah,
That's literally all it is. They want people screaming at. It could be such a basic task of walking to the bathroom, and they're gonna try to make it hard for you.
yeah.
That's
That makes
all they.
sense.
That's all they did. Their job was to just make it harder for you, and you had to get over it. And 2 months of that, you
Right.
had to get over it.
Well, they say pressure makes diamonds, so I get it. That makes sense. Hey, so this was really great. Thank you again for letting me ask you all these questions, the silly ones and the serious ones. But please tell everyone else how they can find you.
On every social media platform, Taxdeed Wolf, on Instagram, Taxdeed Wolf CEO. If you want to get on a call, taxdeedwolfacademy.com. The reason I want to get you on a call is because I can sit here and say so many vague and broad statements, but I need to know where you are in order to tell you where to get to, right? Everybody has a specific goal and everyone is at a different journey in their life. So Monica here could have an 800 credit score and I can literally get her $100,000 before the end of next week. Well, somebody else may have a 650 credit score. So then I have to tell you, hey, you're going to go here, you're going to go here, and then you're going to do this, right? Everybody's at a different part of their journey. So when you book that call, myself and my team, we're going to talk with you and we're going to ask you some questions like, okay, what's your goal? What you got going on? And then we're going to tell you step by step how to get from point A to point B. And that's priceless. All right, that's priceless. You can't get that on YouTube because we're just saying broad things. You can go to my channel, you can go to anybody else's channel, and we're just saying very vague and broad statements. But you need to know how that, like what that means to you. So go ahead and go to taxdeedwolfacademy.com and let's get on the call so I can show you how to change your life.
So you can go out there and learn on your own and get general information that is beneficial. But if you want something more customized for you and your particular situation, you know who to find. All right, so there you have it, guys. You heard it from the man himself. If you found this video helpful, please drop a like, drop a comment, share with a friend, and don't forget to follow the Tax Deed Wolf. I'll see you on the next one.
I'll take care. Good shit.